Who helped bring VRChat to the front of the internet? From viral moments to groundbreaking content, certain creators turned VRChat into more than just a platform.
They made it a movement, a place where everyone wants to be involved. They broke barriers with immersive storytelling. They captured chaos with unforgettable roleplay. They pushed creativity beyond limits. What did they do to shape VRChat? How did it all begin?
These creators built worlds, communities, and iconic moments that changed how people see online interactions and, hate to say it, the metaverse.
They introduced meme culture, information sharing, comedy, and raw interactions that made VRChat legendary. What are they up to now? Or should we say,
what's their status?
Today, we're not just revisiting the world of VRChat, we're bringing back the legends who shine the brightest. This is What's Their Status?
A celebration of OG content creators who helped define what makes the space so special. In this video, we've compiled standout moments from their interviews, chunks of insight, passion, and pure creative energy.
To catch their full sessions, head to ChyadoSensei's channel. You'll find the full interviews, bonus commentary, and more in the description.
If this series resonates with you, be cool, like, subscribe, and drop a comment sharing your favorite moment or who'd you love to see in future videos. With that being said,
let's go back to where it all started. We'd love to hear about your early experiences with VRChat and how it became such an important part of your journey. What was your first experience with VRChat like, and what drew you to the platform?
Well, at first, it was randomly finding clips on YouTube by other creators like Nadition, Drumsy, Jameski, Lolifon.
For me, seeing videos of the Kinetic team, people like Veronica J and No Logic David.
His name was Drekwiz. Have you heard of him? So basically, he was this big square guy who would go up to people and just say, wah wah. And for some reason, he went completely viral doing it.
I think the thing that brought me in was probably, I think that the Knuckles meme was like kind of a big thing.
Back in the day, I came in on the Knuckles era, or what people classify as the Knuckles era.
Not to mention a couple of the like meme funny videos with like Uganda Knuckles.
I know everyone says this, it's the Knuckles meme that drew me onto it, and I was part of the original raids in the videos.
Seeing someone be strange to other people and seeing the amount of laughs that built up, it made me realize that you can just jump into a game and be weird and people will still be friends with you. So I started playing the game that way.
A lot of the just like funny like bits and kind of like role play kind of scenarios that people would do in public worlds back then. Seeing videos of that, it just looked like incredibly fun way to like communicate and interact with people.
And when I got into VRChat to record a video, I immediately got a bunch of funny content, but I was like blown away by like the social connection aspect of it. I was not expecting that. I was just going in for like the comedy. Once I saw that and I started making actual friends and connections in game, I was like a daily user.
now that we've talked about your beginnings, let's explore what made you fall in love with VRChat. This is where your passion really shines through. What were the things you absolutely loved about VRChat when you began?
So when I began playing VRChat, I loved that you didn't have to have friends already. And you didn't have to be socially eloquent, or you didn't have to be emotionally intelligent. You could just walk up to someone and be weird, and you know that they're gonna be weird too, because, we chose to play this game, both of us.
Just one word, community. It was community, because kind of what I really loved back then was just community building in a new frontier, in a new platform.
Hopping into this game, I think especially in the early days, it wasn't like, now it's a lot more anime, but early on it was so many IPs. Like every cartoon, animated program that you can think of, those avatars were like the main things in game, along with people's like homemade creations. So it was really a place for people to express their love of animation, and it's only grown. It's gotten actually pretty wild what people can make in this game.
At the beginning, one of the things I really thought was incredibly cool was being able to see a lot of the game worlds from my childhood, or game worlds at the time, but in that 3D immersive space.
It's just for first finding like people to show my avatars to, because hey, I got this cool thing I want to show you, like, and then half the time like they didn't bother, or like everyone's like, oh, let's give this guy a chance, and then like more people shared my name around, and then I'd start uploading onto YouTube just random clips, and then it just blew up. I'm grateful, really.
VRChat is such a creative and unpredictable space. Let's dive into what makes it so unique and some of the moments that keep it exciting. How would you describe the uniqueness of VRChat content?
I remember the time VRChat came out, it was all over the internet, on live stream fails and on YouTube. Honestly, I've been touching some grass since then, so I'm not really sure how the content scene looks like right now. VTubers, they're called VTubers. I love that they can be in this game as a full character and almost be outside without being outside.
VRChat content is kinda alive but struggling, because everyone wants to be a creator on TikTok, Twitter, just uploading shorts or videos on YouTube. It's a struggling platform because people starting to lose less interest in VRChat content, but it depending what trends happen at the time. Like the big trends in this community is kind of slowed down since, like, again, the Knuckles content, that's when it was huge, and then like the people who came from there who stayed created content of their own.
I think what makes content in VRChat so unique, it's just a sandbox. You can shoot a reality show, you could just do a podcast, you could do social interactions, you can make a prank show, you could shoot a movie. There are so many things people have done in this game and so many things that still haven't been done, but you could do easily, that I think that's the unique part.
I think with VRChat content, it allows people to kind of step outside of their own body and their own limitations, whether that be based on real life physical things where you're not able to leave your house, or just the main factor I think would be confidence levels. Having that avatar, being able to choose how you look like, or choosing to play like a familiar character that you love, is something that can spark a lot of creativity, confidence, and just willingness to try something new.
Going back to that idea of it's kind of like walking around a visual internet, that's very much how I view it, and how I explain to people what VRChat essentially is. I'm sure everybody's heard the criticisms from people just going into unmoderated public lobbies, and you can get everything from a very highly moderated group lobby that's very focused around a topic, or you can go all the way to the opposite end of the spectrum and find the complete unmoderated internet in its truest and purest form. And sometimes it's funny, sometimes it's horrific, sometimes it's offensive. So, you get everything. But it's something that you can step into versus sitting at your PC and staring at a browser. And that's kind of how I view it.
Some of you might be wondering, what are these two trying to get out of making this video? Back in 2017 and 2018, I stumbled across some creators on Twitch who completely changed how I looked at VRChat. It wasn't just the hilarious moments, it was the friendships, the shared memories, the realness of it all that made me want to be part of that world. I wanted to meet new people, create content that made others smile, and share something positive that could inspire. Fast forward to today, and I still can't believe I got to interview Nuts and Khan. Khan's interview is coming up in a future video, by the way. I was shaking, seriously. I used to watch their content during lunch breaks at my old soul-crushing job at a Japanese black company. Their videos got me through some of the roughest times, and I refuse to let creators like them and the moments they help shape fade into obscurity. This project is about honoring that spark. So, as you watch, I hope a part of you understands why this series had to happen, and why we poured everything into making it real.
It's incredible how VRChat continues to grow and evolve. Let's talk about how the platform has changed and how it's shaped your creative journey. Have you noticed an influx of VRChat content creators recently?
From what I've seen, it seems like it is well planned in comparison to older style content. Older style content was more a capture of a moment of someone having fun or something crazy happening, something unhinged. Nowadays, you see people creating this extremely difficult avatar to create, and then they're showcasing it just for like a 5-second clip or like a 10-second video. The standards are definitely getting higher.
not just like meme creations, like the shorts, like just like skits from like sounds they find, or just random like stupid things they can think of and just upload online. Yeah, so the biggest probably right now for VRChat content is like on TikTok and Shorts, where it's like the biggest it's ever been. More and more, I'm seeing more and more every day. Like everyone wants to be a creator in this game now, because everyone has a camera on these days. Like even when I'm like chilling somewhere, there's always a camera on. It's like there's always something being recorded somewhere.
Some of them I'd say are very good, like the ones I mentioned before with like recreating IRL trends but in VRChat, or reacting to the real world with VRChat. But there's been a few that have been like not so good trends, and I think we're seeing that in the real world as well. Things like harassing or trying to get reactions based on negative interactions. In the end, it's not making VRChat look very well, or like its inhabitants look very well. And I think it's covering only a very, very minuscule part of the greater whole of the social circles, the inhabitants of VRChat, and its content creators.
VRChat has its ups and downs with mainstream popularity. There's still content being made, there's still people innovating, but from a creative perspective, at least, I'd say a lot of the low-hanging fruit is gone. And so to do something now that people haven't seen before, you really, really have to be multi-talented, and you really, really have to think outside the box to do something new and unique that's going to stand out.
I think over time, VRChat has had its kind of peaks and dips, and I think right now we're just kind of like in a nice stable land where the only people making content on VRChat now are people that actually care about the game. There aren't just people hopping on the game just because it's a popular thing right now.
Your avatar and persona are such a vital part of your presence in VRChat. Let's explore how you crafted this virtual identity. How do avatars and virtual personas impact storytelling and interactions in VRChat?
Oh, girl, it sets the whole scene. And so the way a person chooses to dress, whether it be in a game or in real life, has a lot to say about that person. Maybe that's why people enjoy this game so much, because you can completely design and control how you want to show yourself and the story you want to tell. I see a lot of people go for themed outfits and so on.
We are incredibly influenced by first appearances. Even though we're in a space where we're not judging based on appearance, because people are choosing how they'd like to be perceived with avatars. So regardless of the skit or just the social reaction, someone's first perception of you is going to be visual based, unless of course you're blind. But
from a creator perspective, you can just embody whatever you want, but it goes further than that, because if we step back and we're not talking about content creation, if we're just talking about people expressing their identities, you look at things like the trans community in VRChat, where people find it incredibly therapeutic and incredibly powerful to be able to come into a space like this and become the person that they truly are inside. But if you spend time in here and you interact with people who use this as a space to express their true identity and to be themselves, it is such an amazing thing to see. And to see people who, outside of this space struggle in day-to-day life because they don't feel like themselves, to be able to get in here and just live their life and be happy. That's probably one of my favorite things about VRChat, to be completely honest.
It's hard to make something your own, because since everyone's using the same thing, it's expensive as well to get someone to commission your own model. But I learned to make everything myself, so like everything you see I all make, or I just use assets from other models to put on myself. So
Avatars that are not very expressive are super funny. One of the most popular avatars that have been in my videos is this Dora the Explorer avatar that has zero movement in the face. It is just blank, deathless stare. And then on the other end, for other people's content, there are so many talented model creators that have made these super expressive models. VRChat tech has evolved where there's like face tracking now. So that kind of content where it's more about the personality and maybe like a VTuber sitting in front of their stream for 4 hours, you need that kind of expression for the storytelling, for the connection. So I think that's what's important for them.
It's inspiring to see how VRChat content has left a mark on gaming and streaming culture. Let's discuss your perspective on this broader impact. What role do you see VRChat playing in the future of entertainment and connection?
It's still in a good spot, just it's slowly, gradually losing its relevancy. It depends what the seasonal is. Like, people will come on to for partying, or like it's huge when it's the New Year's, when like thousands of people on where they eventually crash the servers.
It's been a while since we've had some really, really big VR titles. Certainly we've had lots of VR titles coming out, but nothing that's really stuck and become popular. I think where VR excels is as a social tool. A lot of the things that I hear is that the VR/XR space is kind of stagnating. And we're certainly past that initial sort of exciting phase of the early 2020s where VR was like the be-all end-all in the tech space. Either VRChat's going to continue to grow and become kind of like a Steam store of VR games, and it won't be so much that the VR titles that are failing now will continue to sell on Steam. Maybe they'll move into the VRChat space.
This game is going to be like Ready Player One. I swear to God. Like, people who aren't even gamers are going to start using it and playing it. And I can see it being used, VRChat being used in AR as well, maybe. So that when you're in the grocery store, you can bring your long-distance girlfriend with her avatar and she can walk with you in the store. It's just other people can maybe not see her. I would love to see that future. Ooh.
If VR headsets ever become so mainstream like a cell phone or a computer, I think games like VRChat would be like the new spot to meet up with all your friends, you know? Like, if they make virtual malls where you can meet up with your friends and go walk around and you have your own body scanned into VR and you jack into your brain in the morning and you're like, oh, let's go dive into the virtual world. I'm gonna get on VRChat, plug into your spine, and then you go to the mall with your friends, and then you have your body uploaded. You can see some clothes, like, I want to know how that looks on me. Click, and then you can see it on you, and you order it, and then it ships via Amazon drone straight to your house. This is the future.
I think wanting to be able to experience a lot more events digitally, whether it be concerts or social events, definitely got put to the forefront of people's minds during COVID. And I'd like that to still be there for people across the world who can't see their friends or can't go to these events normally, whether it be just based on financial reasons, location reasons, or maybe just simply introverts who struggle to get out of the house.
There's something electric about stepping into a public world, not knowing who you'll meet, where the night will take you, or what memories you'll make. That's the heartbeat of VRChat, and while things may have shifted over the years, that magic is still there, waiting. Maybe it starts with you. Maybe you and a couple of friends open a public instance just for the fun of it. Maybe someone unexpected joins, and it clicks, just how connections begin, not with plans, but with presence. So welcome the good ones. Stay curious. Hold your space when things get chaotic, but don't be afraid to lean in a little. Ask questions. Toss out an improv prompt. You might be surprised by who rises to the moment. Truth is, the ones trying the hardest to derail things, they're usually the ones taking it way too seriously. This isn't a competition. It's a sandbox. There's no right way to play. We make our own fun here. VRChat has always been about exploration, play, and shared creativity. It's not about going viral. It's about laughing with someone you just met, goofing off in a weird avatar, or building something wild just because you can. And every time we show up, we have the power to bring a little more of that spirit back. So maybe this video will remind you of what VRChat can still be. A place to laugh, a place to explore, a place where sometimes strangers become memories.
As someone with so much experience in VRChat, I'm sure you thought about how the platform could improve. Let's talk about that. Is there something you feel the platform or community is missing right now?
As a content creator, it's hard to think of specifically things made for the average user in mind. But personally, as someone who loves to be able to give proper credit to my artists, I would love to see embedded links or links to the accounts of which avatars are made or avatar parts are from. That could help a lot with the creator economy of avatars, and just make it easier for avatar creators to be properly credited for their work.
Dreaming about being able to go on a big stage with lighting and a big screen behind me and give people a true concert experience in VR. And I did that. And that's now become a regular thing in VRChat that lots of communities do. Okay, well, now that's sort of the next frontier is how do we go from, okay, I'm entertaining 80 people or I'm fragmenting people across multiple lobbies, and how do we bring everybody together so that we can have a seamless experience where I walk into a lobby and it's like walking into, I don't want to necessarily say a stadium, but I'm walking into, a large auditorium filled with a couple hundred people, and we get to experience something together.
I think the platform is missing more content creators. I would love to see.
Public lobbies are like a huge no-no for us creators these days because anything could happen. Sometimes it's just one of those like screw it moments where I would go there, but it's just a risk. I would just like, if I see something like suspicious or bad, I would just like, I'm out. I'd at least try to go back to those old days where like everyone was in public open lobbies, but it's just becoming more and more difficult. Like, just like, okay, I'll just stick to people I've known for years.
I think a lot of like the real avid users of this game, the people that are here all the time, every weekend drinking with their friends, are mostly getting on in private worlds and just hanging out with that group of friends. I think this game has lost that element of like walking around and meeting new friends. It still exists, but it's a lot harder to find, especially when like the most avid users are in a private world most of the time. Like, how am I walking around the public worlds ever going to meet those people and befriend them and come to their drinking nights on Fridays? Something that promotes that kind of activity again, how it used to be in the olden days. If we can bring that back, that'd be so special.
Let's take a moment to reflect on your incredible journey and the impact you've had in the VRChat world. What would you love to see more of in the VRChat content space moving forward?
Collaboration, but it already happens. I mean, it's already a very collaborative space. We're very far along in a journey. I don't even know where it goes from here. That goes back to why I think this is the VR killer app, and certainly I think it has the player metrics to cement itself as the VR killer app. It is the VR killer app, but that's because it is so uniquely different. This place grows like society does in real life. We don't know what's going to be the next big thing, but certainly it's going to happen in here. There's going to be something else that's going to be the next step.
Probably add like more quality of life features, like I said, the avatar search, and making it easier for like people to upload it more.
So I'd like to see a lot more VTubers use the platform for things like meetups or exploring worlds, just making better content as a virtual persona. So I'd like to see more VTubers play around with VRChat and see how it feels for them.
Oh, you know what I want to see? I want to see arranged content where the VRChat developers, like, they pay people to go to it and to create good content. And I'm talking like really funny people who like will be clowns, like get Siren there or something, or PewDiePie. That's a lot to wish for them.
I would like to see more like cinematic things made in VRChat. I think there have been a couple like production studios that have formed in VRChat that have made like actual movies. Heck, I think there was like an HBO documentary that got made. More of that, please. We have all the tools. Again, there's like 7 cameras that you guys have set up right now. I feel like people need to utilize that more. Obviously, it's a chore. It's a bigger task than just, me getting on and strapping on my headset and telling 3 friends to get on and goofing off. we're primed and ready. Like all the tech is there.
And finally, let's wrap up by focusing on advice and recommendations for those who are just starting out or looking for inspiration. What advice would you give to new creators entering VRChat today?
Camera smoothing has been around a long time. So just put a little thought visually into how your audience is going to be seeing your experience. I know it's very easy to get caught up in, wow, new thing, new experience, but maybe just make sure your audience isn't feeling it, like at least not incredibly dizzy.
I think VRChat content can get easily chaotic and crazy and hard to follow. I think that's the biggest pitfall I see when people are making just like that genuine kind of social content, is that there's just too much going on. I think it's really important to just focus on like a single story and really locking in on it.
Keep it simple, take it slowly. My ethic before, usually I will pump like a model out every day, but then I have like a breather to like, relax, do whatever I want, not just focus on content all the time. That would drive me insane, but take breaks or else you go insane.
First and foremost, you are an artist. Create, try things, screw up, make mistakes, and iterate, because this is a space that allows for rapid iteration of ideas. And this is a space that allows for rapid collaboration with people all over the world. So that would be my advice, is just use this unique tool that we have to create and to envision new things and do it faster than anybody else can out there.
Please, please, please do not be afraid to take the initiative and to just throw yourself out into it, speak to people, ask them weird questions, and also eat well before you stream. You don't want to be out of energy on a stream. You don't want no bad vibes in your chat. Eat well.
These creators have a knack for capturing what VRChat is really about, the community. It's the authenticity in their stories that resonates with everyone who logs in.
Absolutely. VRChat isn't just a platform. It's a reflection of its players, the creativity, the chaos, the connections. And that's why we keep exploring. It's all here, waiting to be found.
If you know a creator whose story deserves spotlight,
We love to hear about them. We should invite you.
we should. Yeah, we totally should.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think we're gonna do it.
Finally.
We're not doing that.